Congratulations, you did it. You survived school. Well, most of you will. Some of you are still waiting on final exams. Graduation ceremonies are filled with excitement, celebration, and tradition. It's a rite of passage, a moment of pride, a tribute to hard work, dedication, and sacrifice. I'm honored to be asked to speak to you tonight. I've been fortunate to enjoy a blessed career, which has allowed me to visit the great cities of our world, entertain presidents, prime ministers, kings, queens, bishops, and a few rock stars. While I've enjoyed those moments, none are more cherished than being asked to speak to university audiences like you. I've invested a lot in your education, and many others have invested in you too. Parents, teachers, coaches, family, friends. Let me tell you something. The world needs your talents. Yes, the world needs a lot from you, and so do we. We need you, the youth. I am not talking to the older generation, aware that gray is starting to take over my hair. No, I'm speaking directly to the young. Remember this. Go out there and give everything you've got. Whether it's your time, your talent, your prayers, or your money. Remember, you can't take anything with you in your casket. Let me say that again. You can't take anything with you when you die. The ancient Egyptians tried. They were buried with all kinds of treasures, but guess what? It was all stolen. So the question remains, what will you do with what you have? And I'm not just talking about how much you have. Some of you studied business, theology, nursing, or social work. Some of you have money. Some have patience. Some have kindness. Some have love. Some have suffered deeply for a long time. Whatever your gift is, what will you do with it? And I know this graduation ceremony will have many inspiring messages. So let me put it plainly. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. This is the beginning of the rest of your life. And for some of you, that can be scary. There's a whole world out there. It can be harsh, and you only live once. So do what you love. Take chances like a pro. Don't be afraid to fail. I read a story about an IQ test given to new employees at a large company. There were 9 dots in a triangle, and the test takers had to draw 5 lines through them without lifting their pencil. The only way to solve it, think outside the box. So the majority of people drew the lines connecting the dots, staying inside the box. Only a handful of people realized they could lift up the box, turn it upside down, and connect all the dots that way. The point is, don't fear stepping outside the box. Don't fear big failure or big dreams. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately lead to disappointment. So, yes, have dreams, but also set goals. Yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. I try to give myself a goal every day, even if it's just not yelling at someone. Simple goals, but goals nonetheless. And to reach those goals, you need commitment, discipline, and consistency. Not just for a day or two and then give up. You have to keep working. We often say, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. And it's true, hard work pays off. That's what successful people do. But in this age of social media you've grown up in, remember this. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're productive. There's a difference between movement and progress. My mother once told me, you can run in place all day and not get anywhere. So keep moving forward, keep setting goals, keep progressing. But in the meantime, here is something else I've learned. Nothing in life is worthwhile unless it involves risk. Nelson Mandela once said, there is no passion to be found in playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. I'm sure people have told you to always have something to fall back on, but I never understood that. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. At least that way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Fall forward. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, more than anyone in baseball history. But no one remembers the strikeouts. They remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. I didn't know that. Because all we remember is light. Fall forward. Each failed experiment brings you closer to success. You have to take risks. I know you've heard that before, but let me explain why it matters. I'll give you 3 reasons. Then you can go back to your phones. 1. You will fail. At some point in your life, you will embarrass yourself, lose, or mess up. That's just part of living. In acting, we fail constantly. When I started, I auditioned for a Broadway musical. I thought it was the perfect role. But then I realized I can't sing. I didn't get the part, but I didn't give up. I didn't fall back. I got up and prepared for the next audition. I prayed, and I prayed again, and I failed again and again. But I didn't quit. There's a saying, if you hang around the barbershop long enough, eventually you'll get a haircut. Your time will come. Mine did. Last year I starred in a play called Fences. It won a Tony Award. And guess what? It was staged at the same theater where I failed my first audition 30 years earlier. 2. If you don't fail, it means you're not even trying. Let me say that again. If you don't fail, it means you're not even trying. My wife once told me, to get something you've never had, you must do something you've never done. Motivational speaker Les Brown said, imagine yourself on your deathbed surrounded by the ghosts of your unrealized dreams. Ghosts of ideas you never pursued, talents you never used, gifts you never shared. They're angry, disappointed, because they came to you for life, and now they'll die with you. So I ask you, how many ghosts will be standing around your bed when your time comes? 3. Don't just make a living, make a difference. Be open to life. Be open to new ideas, new people, new perspectives. Yes, it may feel scary, but it will also be rewarding, because it's the opportunities you seize, the people you love, the faith you hold, that shape who you are. Never lose hope. Never give up. Give it everything you've got, and when life knocks you down, fall forward. And that leads me to my final thought. Life is not a spectator sport. Get involved, seize the moment, fall in love. Don't just exist, make a difference. One of the greatest quotes ever written. The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be compassionate, to be honorable, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well. Well said, sir. The secret to a happy life is to live a life full of purpose. Life is not about seeking pleasure. It's about contributing, caring, and making a difference. Happiness is a byproduct of living a life of purpose. I've been blessed to experience my share of success, but that didn't happen overnight. I worked hard for it. There were auditions where I bombed. There were times when I wanted to quit. Acting wasn't always easy. I learned early on that the best way to respond to rejection is to pick yourself up and try again. Try again. You might hear no hundreds of times, but that one yes will be worth it. So congratulations, graduates. As you step into this new chapter, know that your journey is just beginning. Embrace the unknown with courage. Face challenges head on. And when you stumble, dust yourself off and start again. You have the power to shape your future. Believe in your dreams, stay true to your values, and never stop believing in the power of your potential. It's not about how many times you fall, but how many times you rise. It's not about the rejections you face, but the resilience you show in bouncing back. I challenge you to be fearless in your pursuit of happiness. Don't settle for mediocrity. Aim for greatness. With each step you take, ask yourself, am I becoming the person I want to be? Am I living a life that reflects my values and brings me joy? If the answer is yes, then you are on the right path. Class of 2024. The world is yours for the taking. Go out there and make your mark. Go out there and shine brightly. As you spread your wings and fly high, remember the lessons you've learned, the relationships you've forged, and the dreams that have brought you here today. May your future be filled with laughter, success, and a deep sense of fulfillment. Congratulations. Thank you.